The member from Isanti, Representative Daudt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. It's been interesting to watch this debate over the last few months and few years. I can remember a time when Democrats in this state supported jobs, but it seems like that day has passed. My brother is a 49er, and I see the hard hat unions out in the hallways out here advocating for these jobs. What we're talking about here is a $3 billion private investment. And I'm going to say that again in a few minutes, but I'll let it sink in. A $3 billion private investment. You remember that the Viking Stadium, which was $1 billion, you all thought that was such a great idea that you paid for half of it. This is a $3 billion private investment. It's like 6,000 jobs in the state of Minnesota. And what will happen to them? We know what will happen to them, because we were all here when the Sandpiper pipeline was supported to death by our governor. And I can't tell you how many times our governor said publicly that he supported the Sandpiper pipeline, which was a similar investment. But Enbridge said, you know what? We can only be slow-rolled long enough. We're going to invest in the Dakota Access Pipeline, which, by the way, right now is pumping oil. And those jobs, I got to tell you, if you haven't looked at a map to see where the Dakota Access Pipeline goes, take a look at it. It literally goes right around the state of Minnesota, through North Dakota, South Dakota, across the Minnesota-Iowa border, within yards of the border. And what did we lose? Thousands of good-paying jobs. Thousands of union jobs. But today on this floor, it's Republicans who are going to stand up for those union jobs, not Democrats. Thousands of those jobs. And not only that, property tax revenue. I could ask a few members to yield to ask how much property tax revenue their counties and cities and school districts lost because that pipeline didn't go across. I'm looking at Representative Heinzman nod his head. I think it would have been a 20% increase in the property taxes collected in Crow Wing County alone. Just think of the public, the public service, the firefighters and police officers that could have been hired. Just think of the boon to the school districts in that area. Or they could have chosen to reduce property taxes for homeowners. But we didn't get that. And you know who got the jobs? North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa. That's the problem, members. We can create all these false narratives and pit this group of people against that group of people. Or we can choose to support the people who are here in the hallways, who put on hard hats and go to work every day. We can choose together to support their jobs for Minnesotans right here in this state. Or you can vote against them and try to pit this group of Minnesotans against that group. They want these jobs. They want this private investment in this state. Oh yeah, it was the Obama administration that said we should replace this pipeline. That's how controversial it is. But let's not miss an opportunity to pit this group of people against that one and try to kill this in the name of the environment. I'm tired of the false choice. We don't have to choose jobs or the environment. We can actually do both. Everybody knows these pipelines are the safest way to transport oil in the state. The safest way. And instead, you're not stopping the oil from coming. It might feel good. You might tell the protesters that show up here once in a while that you're doing something really great, but you're not stopping any oil from coming out of the ground. They're putting it on the rails and driving it right next to your elementary schools and right next to your nursing homes, right through small towns all across the state. And not just small towns, it comes right here through the metro. The oil's coming out of the ground. You're not going to stop it. What you're going to do is stop the jobs, and you're going to stop the property tax revenue. That's what you're stopping. All in the name of the environment. It's not a choice. With technology today, we can protect the environment and we can create jobs. And I'm so damn proud to stand here and tell you that I'm glad that my party is the one that's standing up for those jobs and knows that you can protect the environment. Speaker doesn't speak very often on the House floor, right? I noticed it got kind of quiet in here. But you know what? I'm going to be the one who stands up for those jobs. And I'm going to ask each one of you, when that board opens up and those lights start lighting up, are you going to stand up for jobs in this state? Or are you going to send them to North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, Illinois? That's your choice. And when you leave this chamber today, I want you to look at the people in the face out there who want these jobs and want this investment and tell them that you didn't have their back. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.